So welcome everybody, good afternoon. I'm really happy to be here today to tell you about a program that we have at Ohlone College called Silicon Valley SVStRUT. It's been a great addition to our ICT education program. My name is Grotegut. I'm a professor, full-time professor at Ohlone College, which is just across the bay in Fremont. And I'm here with my colleague Dennis Smith, who's also a part-time adjunct faculty member, teaches our SVStRUT-related classes at Ohlone, and he also is teaching here at City College starting this spring. So, all right, so there's a little handout that you should have picked up on your way in. SVStRUT is not a term that we've coined. It was actually developed by Intel Corporation, I don't know, maybe 14 years ago, because they recognized that recycling of old computer needed some kind of a home, and they had a program that they launched and started, and Ohlone been involved for the last 5 years with the SVStRUT program. So there's some facts that are up here. ICT technology education is a 21st century necessity. Everybody needs to know those skills. We have to teach those. We learned that today in the keynote speak, that technology is critical for everyone. E-waste, green is in, right? We have to be green, and IT needs to be green too. Green was popular subject matter, so e-waste management is a major social problem, getting rid of all this electronic waste. Schools lack funds, lack sufficient classroom computers and equipment to teach these courses. And, the technology budgets continue to rise and the requirements as well. So SVStRUT is a possible solution. It builds these foundational ICT skills. SVStRUT allows us to establish an e-waste recycling network system that we've done. It provides the technology equipment that we needed to teach the hands-on skills that our students need to know, and reduce costs for our school to buy that equipment. So it's been a great solution for us. So I'm going to turn it over to Dennis, and we're going to talk about how we've implemented SVStRUT at Ohlone College. And Dennis is going to take you through that. I'm going to be advancing the slides here. So first of all, let me finish with this slide. This is the handout I gave you. What is SVStRUT? Silicon Valley chapter of Students Recycling Use Technology. There actually are SVStRUT organizations all over the U.S. There's a big organization in Oregon. There's one in Arizona. There's a couple that are starting up here elsewhere in California as well. SVStRUT is incorporated into member local academy schools like Ohlone and our partners. They take the donated computers and networking equipment. They work on them in their PC support classes, refurbishing them, getting them up and running, and then redistribute them for use in schools. Again, founded by Intel. Here are the goals of the program. They still strongly support this. We still get donations from Intel out of Santa Clara. So Dennis, I'm going to go ahead and have you.
Well, here's SVStRUT logo is what we actually do. And as you can see, it's a nice diagram defining the recycling concept. And at the start of it, at the top, we talk about technology education. So what we actually do is, I as a coordinator and Richard, we go out and we've established business partners. Okay, one of them is Symantec, another one is Robert Half, and there's some other ones locally. We get some from Lam and also from Intel, and they donate us their computers. And we take these recycled computers, we pick them up, okay, and we bring them to our school, and we have an A+ class, IT Essentials class using Cisco curriculum, and we actually then define, we look at the computers, we bring them in, and we define what condition they're in. Most of the time, the computers will boot. Some of the time, we just get the junk and they take hard drive. We really put emphasis that we would like everything in the computers. Some companies feel that we're going to rob all their secret data and they take their hard drives out, especially the laptops. We've been having some issues with that. So we've been out trying to look for donated hard drives to put in the laptops so we can give them refurbished and send them out. So as we go through this process, the A+ class that treats on Saturday actually goes in, and part of their curriculum is to take apart the computers, to find what's wrong with them, go through, and what we do is go through a three-step process. First of all, we see if they boot, we tag them, we put them in a separate place. If they don't boot, we tag them, put them somewhere else. If they don't boot and are missing parts, we put them in another section. So now we have 3 sections to go through. So as our A+ class continues, they can take the first section in which we actually go through refurbish, and what we actually do, make sure they boot, and we load the boot to them. Okay, and then they're actually ready to give out to a class, okay, or to donate. So then they're actually put away. The second group has problems with booting, so they do their troubleshooting. So we sit down there and we set them up in teams, and they sit down and troubleshoot these computers to go through and make sure that we can resolve the issues, define what's going on. If we cannot, then it goes back to the third side where we either part them out and recycle them if we can't find the right place. So what we go through is make sure we can get them all up and running and functioning. And whatever's left over goes to the recycle bin, and we actually sell the recycling. We don't make much money anymore. But a few years ago, recycling computers was pretty good. Today, it isn't that good. So, but we do make a little money to bring in, okay? So, as far as the education resources, as we sit there and we look at this and we bring them in, we're teaching the curriculum from Cisco, IT, and we're using the new curriculum coming out now, and we'll get into that a little later, version 5. But we tie our class, what we're actually doing, again, with repairing and doing this computer. So besides loading Ubuntu and make it run, we actually go through and have them load Windows. They load Windows 7, they load Windows Server, and we have, again, hands-on labs that actually do this. We're allowed to do this because these computers, we can take apart, put back together, and again, we don't have any issues if they damage them. Okay? So we do this through our class. We, again, send them out and go through, so every student gets an opportunity to take apart a computer, put it back together, add different hard drives, do whatever we're doing with these, okay, recycled computers. And then we get them ready, and they go out and recycle. And again, we stay in contact. We have an organization that people belong to stRUT. There's about 20 schools, Richard, around? Yeah. Around 20 schools. 20 partner schools. That, again, come to our competition and deal with us and ask. Okay, and then we also go out and look at high schools, and also we look at nonprofits, whoever needs. So, you know, if you have a request for a computer and we have some there, okay, we send out inventory to the schools. Some of them choose to take it, some do not. Some of the schools want newer stuff than what we have, but most of ours are very capable of doing loading Windows 7 and running Windows 7. We put emphasis on now that all the equipment we would like to say the drives, okay, and dealing with the more modern stuff that the students would actually see when they get to the outside. Now, again, the materials recycling. Again, we sit down and deal with we sit down and deal with anything that's no good that, you know, we tried and tried to reuse. The problem is that we get so much stuff, you know, it becomes a storage issue. I mean, sometimes I go to Robert and they'll give me 100 computers, you know, so we pick up 100 nice desktops, the same as they actually have here. And so as we go through, and probably 80 of them will work and function fine, but 20 of them, either the hard drives are bad, or they sometimes, when they clean them, they don't handle them properly. Sometimes when they get picked up, you know, they get dropped as we go through recycling. But again, we end up with this stack of stuff that we cannot actually use. Okay, and we also take printers. We take servers. I'm going to go pick up a bunch of servers next week. So we take whatever the company has, and most cases servers we can play with a little bit, but mostly they go to recycling. All the stuff we get from Sun usually goes back to recycling. The printers we bring into class, and again, part of A+ is to work on printers. So we allow, again, as we go through our process, of the students to actually take apart, look at a printer, and see if they can resolve issues with the printer. Okay? Laser printers especially, because they go through, and there's a lot of questions related to A+ to how a laser printer works. And we get color printers. They're allowed to take them apart. They don't work, you know, and then by the time we're done, we cycle them in pieces. Same with laptops. We get a number, and we're getting increasing numbers of laptops to come. And what we actually do is go through the same process as a desktop, and put them over there. And the ones that are left over, you know, the A+ has an opportunity now to take apart a real laptop and try to repair it. So we actually start with old stuff that has been taken apart a number of times. Laptops are good to take apart maybe 3 or 4 times. After that, the pieces get broken. I don't know if any of you ever taken apart a laptop, but they break pretty easy. So as we go through this process as a learning curve, we can take these that are not functional anymore, let them take them apart, put them back together the best they can. Then we get to the ones that need some repair, such as maybe a new monitor, which they actually can take from an older computer, put the monitor in. They've done that with broken machines. Now they're capable of doing it. And the sense of accomplishment is just unbelievable when they go through and do this, especially on a laptop. Even with a desktop, people who've never handled a desktop before, and all of a sudden they could work. It's really, you can see, you know, the surprised look on their face as they accomplish something. Wow, I did this. So, but anyway, as we take and reuse this recycled stuff, we do the best we can, you know, to make sure that our classes, and this is not only the A+ class, we do this in the Windows 7 class, we also do that, okay, and we give them an opportunity to do a lot more. Giving them hands-on, true hands-on experience. The problem we face is like everybody else is we can take them apart, fix them, there can be some issues, but we cannot face the problems that they face when they get to the outside. So again, we work in groups, we try to, again, come up with scenarios and give them an opportunity to try to resolve problems and use their problem-solving skills. Also, we encourage working in groups to begin with, so they develop soft skills. Okay, and at first we let them pick them, and then eventually I pick the groups for them. The people who sit back and they're quiet and don't do anything, I kind of put together and make them work and do things, again, so they can, again, produce their soft skills. And again, that's part of it, is going through and doing this. So by having this equipment available and all this technology coming in and out, okay, to where we don't really have to worry about it, that's fine. Also, our students are allowed, if they have a bad computer at home or something that's broken, they bring it in themselves. If we have the equipment, we will share a hard drive with them or give them more RAM. In the case of laptops, if we have anything that is suitable to them, we take from the SVStRUT pile that we cannot use, or you know, there's no place to use it, and we allow them to add a hard drive or fix their computers for home. So again, that gives them a sense of accomplishment, so they can come in. You know, but we put a lot of emphasis that if you're going to break anything, you need to come to the school and break it. Because their mothers and dads come in screaming at me with clubs, and you know, so they go home and you know, damage their dad's computer, they get very upset. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. But again, by allowing us to go out and pick these materials, number one, we're creating a good rapport with industry, local industry. We get invited to a lot of things. They invite us. They come to our thing. Number two is we're developing some skills. They come in and look at our students. We've been very successful with Robert Half. I went to a conference out there at Robert Half, and they got up with their 6 interns that they hired permanently over the last 3 years, and 5 of those went through our program. So it was kind of nice. And the other instructors who were there said, "What did you do? You know, why?" You know, and again, it's part of working as a group, working together, sharing ideas, and be able to share the equipment. They're very, very powerful.
Yeah, so Dennis was very instrumental in bringing SVStRUT to our campus, because it had been around for almost 12 or 13 years, I think, and Dennis was involved, and an opportunity came for Ohlone to take it on, and so we decided to become a SVStRUT affiliated school, and we do our technology education there by, as Dennis said, using the Cisco Network Academy program, which we already had, we were already members of, and the new Cisco curriculum aligns perfectly with the new A+ certification, and it gives the exact type of training the students need in the PC repair class, because that's what they're learning. Early days of SVStRUT, they had to develop their own curriculum. It became very difficult to stay up to date, and finally Cisco makes that available for free. They give this away. It's part of their give back. And they have a new version coming out this month, the new, based on the new A+ exam. It's got all the basic chapters and procedures. And we can teach this class with confidence now that we have equipment that students can really work on. Even though Cisco provides with virtualization and simulation on how to, this is how they teach laptop repair. Well, our students do this. They do this for maybe a half an hour. They figure this one out, the simulation, and then they have real laptops to work on and take apart. So it's been a great boon to our program to be able to do that. The educational resources, we've been able to give away, as Dennis said, a lot of equipment once refurbished and ready to go. Here's an example. We've got a laptop. That's a STRUT laptop right here. That was donated to us, been refurbished, has Ubuntu loaded on, and is going to be raffled tomorrow at the raffle. So if you have a raffle ticket, you might qualify for a pretty nice Dell. It was used at Symantec Corporation, so pretty high level available tomorrow. So our partner schools, these are our Cisco Academy partners also. So these are high schools in our neighborhood that teach the Cisco program as well, are also recipients. So they receive, we have 100 desktops that are coming in that Dennis picked up. We can't use them all. We redistribute them to our STRUT partners who are teaching the A+ class at the high schools. They get to evaluate, they get to do the same repair and setup, and then the STRUT students learn valuable hands-on skills. The schools get free equipment to use. It's been a great boon to our program. Dennis, you want to talk about the donation program, how it works a little bit?
What we've done in the past is, I've been involved with STRUT over about 11 years, a little over 11 years. And I got involved because one day the people from Mission College, which started it with, they came up to my school and said, hey, you want to go to this competition and get involved with what's going on? And we'll talk about the competition later. And as soon as I started getting involved, I said, wow, this is really, worthwhile program. So what happens is, we get out and we make contacts. And through working with people and getting involved, former students are some of our best contacts. I have a guy now that's working at Google, and he's sending me who I need to contact. So again, I said, well, try this guy, he's good. And then pretty soon I'll get another one, I'll try this guy, he's good. And once you get a contact, you get in and kind of explain your program, okay? Most companies are willing to, donate. We give them an income tax voucher to what we take, the value of it. And again, we pick it up, we go to our school, we make a decision, again, at our school, as I went over before, what we're actually going to do with it. But it's ready. When we get ready to donate a computer, all of the computers we give out are up, booted, and have the busi software running on. We like to get whole sets, monitors, keyboards, and mice. Okay, in the back of my truck now, I have 50 keyboards and 50 mice I picked up the other day, again, from the company. Brand new, because they didn't want to use the cheap ones that came with HP. So again, the PS2, but most of our computers right now are dealing with PS2.
Yeah, the schools load their own operating system, whatever they have license for.
So we just make sure it's up and running, and then we give that to the school, and then they can do what they want. They can load their own operating system in their classes. They can take them apart, put them back together. But in most cases, a lot of the computers that we're actually donating are as good or better than what they have in some of the high schools. We've also set up a junior high, which was in a feeder school to one of our local high schools. We went out there and set up 20 computers in a computer lab for that school. So we actually had some of the small ones, and the school was enabled, looking forward to it. Yeah,
we're actually still replacing CRT monitors in some of the schools. They still have the old CRTs, so we get flat screens, replace those too.
And we recycle those. So again, we go through and do that.
Yeah. For the recycling, we partnered with a local recycler in our neighborhood that comes and picks up whatever e-waste we have, and we made sure that they were a green recycling outfit and that none of these electronic parts are going to go into landfill or anything. So that's a requirement. Intel kind of stressed that requirement as well, so we can't just, we have to be careful with where and how we get rid of this. So there are local green recycling places everywhere. They give us a little bit of a kickback on whatever funding they get, so it's been kind of helpful to help us buy parts, things that, maybe a few more hard drives if we're missing, things that we need as well. So we have a website that we run. This is actually the old site, we during the break we've been upgrading to a new back end. So it's actually in a I'm going to bring it up here on a web browser in a second. It's got a new background, and so I have to do a little bit of work getting that done as well. So this is a place where students can go and people can learn about the program and how we've implemented it at Ohlone College in Fremont. Probably the most important and the thing that the students love most is the annual competition. So each year, last year was our 12th annual STRUT competition hosted at Ohlone College, and I have a video that I wanted to share with you, Dennis and I would share. Have you take a look at that. It explains the program and the competition in quite a bit of detail. So I'm going to put that up in a second. I have brought handouts, and I have digital copies of all of our procedures. So the business side, you know, how we accept the donations, got paperwork, the certificates of destruction that we guarantee that any data that was on that hard drive has been removed. That's all legal and in place. Our process flow, how we handle that. So if you're looking at starting a program like this, and I know Percy's here from up in Yuba, right, college, and they're thinking about starting a chapter there, you have the blessing from Intel for sure to use the name, and you may want to take a look at some of our procedures and adapt those as well. And then I also have all the pages from the competition, and we'll take a look at that right now. Get a browser up here. So right now, when you go to our website, it's our backup at the moment. We're in the process. But you can see we've got the 13th annual competition coming up this spring in March. And here we've got the events from the previous year. So this was the 2012 competition results. And there are our champions there from Mission High School. But we've had over nearly 30 teams competing, over 30 teams. These are high school kids. They come on campus, sometimes for their first time on the college campus, get to learn about Ohlone College and what we have to offer. And I can't even begin to tell you how many kids we've had matriculate over the years into our program. So it's been a good recruiting tool. Let me get the video up here.
We tried doing it during the week one time, and we had problems with transportation and getting the students there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think you can.
My name is Grotegut. I'm a professor here in the Computer Studies Department at Ohlone College. I'm happy to get a chance to tell you about a special program that we have here at the college called stRUT, Students Recycling Use Technology. Ohlone is the Silicon Valley chapter. It's a program that's sponsored by Ohlone College's regional Cisco Network Academy program. stRUT is incorporated into member local academy schools where students take donated computers, networking equipment, and upgrade them for use in schools. Students involved in stRUT evaluate, repair, and refurbish the equipment, and in turn, donate to local schools. Students in the program gain valuable skills, and schools get free equipment. stRUT was developed by Intel Corporation and actually contains 4 goals. First, to develop programs where students gain valuable technical and business management skills by refurbishing and upgrading computers. Secondly, to place these computers in schools throughout the state in order to supplement those purchased by districts and keep these used items out of landfills. Thirdly, to help give students the skills and confidence they will need to compete in the high-tech industry. And finally, to reduce landfill content by responsible recycling and reclamation. Ohlone's stRUT education system involves 3 distinct programs. An education program supported through Cisco's Network Academy IT Essential or A+ certification prep curriculum. Secondly, materials recycling program that prevents harmful electronic waste materials from being deposited into our refuse system. And finally, educational resources that provide computers and equipment for schools. And while STRUT has been able to provide equipment and computers for schools over the years, students in the program by far enjoy the annual STRUT competition the most. The competition is sponsored here by Ohlone College again and hosted here as well. And it allows students from the STRUT member schools to display their knowledge and skills in a series of events. This year's STRUT competition, our 12th annual, was the largest ever. We had 12 schools participating with over 100 students competing. There were 50 judges, another 20 volunteers helping out, and it was a great success. The STRUT competition has 4 individual team components: a computer build, a team presentation, a simulated troubleshooting activity, and an exam. The teams, consisting of 3 members representing their school, must compete in all 4. This year, we had 36 high schools, 3 middle schools, and nearly 120 student competitors. Over 40 college students, industry volunteers, and teachers served as judges and proctors for the event. The computer build is our most challenging event. The student teams have 45 minutes to completely disassemble and reassemble a working computer. A pair of judges, comprised of 1 of our college students and 1 member from industry, evaluates the team's effort on mechanics, problem solving, and teamwork. Judges award points based on the team's knowledge of the PC components, use of tools, how they keep their workspace organized, and how they safely handle the equipment. Points are awarded on how the teams identify obstacles and use available resources to solve problems. The greatest number of points are awarded for teamwork. Does each member have a clear role? Are tasks assigned effectively? Is each member engaged, and does the team exhibit a positive working relationship and show respect and support for their teammates? Once the computers are reassembled, tested, and confirmed to be working, the team can then move on to the next team component, the presentation. In this event, each team has 45 minutes to develop a presentation of their efforts on the computer build. The team must give a short oral presentation to the 2 judges who observe and score the computer build. The students are encouraged to use presentation software and computer part images loaded on the computer they just reassembled. The judges score the team on their ability to communicate content, knowledge, their organization, the use of visual aids, and how they work as a team. The troubleshooting event requires teams to work together to set up and troubleshoot a small home office or solo network. Students use packet tracing, a network simulation software provided by the Cisco Network Academy program. Cisco provides the curriculum for the entire STRUT program. All of the high schools participating in the STRUT competition are Cisco academies. Students must use the simulator to set up a small computer network with PCs, laptops, tablets, a printer, an IP phone, and secured wireless access to the internet. This event also requires that students work together, and it is timed. The final event, the exam event, is our toughest activity. Each student on the team must complete a 50-question objective exam comprised of CompTIA's A+ certification exam content. This is a proctored exam delivered online and timed at 40 minutes. Each team member must work alone. The exams are scored individually and then averaged as a team score. This year's team competition was won by Mission San Jose High School. Mission won the competition on the strength of their team average on this exam component. They edged out Castro Valley by a single point, despite being behind after the end of the first 3 events. The Quiz Bowl is our final activity, and it's a school versus school event. Each participating school must select up to 4 students to compete. The seeding for the Quiz Bowl is based upon the resulting school's team average on the individual component. This year, Mission High School in Castro Valley was seated first and second, and American and Irvington High School here in Fremont was seated third and fourth. The quiz bowl consists of questions based upon the CompTIA ATEL certification exam as well. School team members must buzz quickly in order to get a chance to answer questions. John Bierke, area manager for Cisco Academies here in California, served as the quiz bowl master ceremony again this year. American High School edged out Irvington High School in this year's quiz bowl competition. Our STRUT competition and program has been one of the best ways for our computer studies department here at Ohlone to connect with our local schools. Over the past 2 years, we've donated over 500 computers. And we have 20 elementary, middle, and high schools partnering with us. If you want to learn more about our program, you can check us out on our website. We'd be happy to invite you to participate.
One of the most important things in the competition is that we actually go out to these companies that have donated the computers and ask them to come in with support. And what they actually do is send members, a lot of them volunteer, and we try to team them up with one of our college students. So they get some networking involved, we supply them lunch, we have a meeting, we give them high-dollar shirts that say staff on the back, okay? But again, part of that is they're allowed to network and find out what's going on at that company or what that individual does. And we have found that that, again, improves soft skills and allows these individuals to fit in, work better, and feel more comfortable, okay? It's, you know, as you watch and everybody that's judged and come back, they really, really enjoyed, number one, the knowledge of these students, okay, what they've actually accomplished, you know, and the skills, and there's techniques we can actually use. Today, all of them are taking pictures from the phone and finding out where all the wires go. Where in the past, we all wrote that down manually. Okay, so we're using technology to help resolve technology. So as you go through this program, it's really, really. And as you saw, there was some women. We really pushed to get the girls involved. Seems the girls do very, very well, even with the computer build. Okay, and they're moving. We're trying at all the schools, trying to get more. Even at our college, we're trying to get more of the women involved.
So
Yeah.
I noticed that there actually, it's funny because I thought that there were very few women in it until the end, and I was wondering what is it that you do to get the women or young or girls involved?
Well, again, at the high school level,
Yeah.
you know, with our teachers and the coordinators there, we kind of push for that. And high schools are pushing for that. Most of them are pushing for it.
Yeah, one of the things about STRUT, the fact that we're taking these computers and it's a sort of a noble cause, we're distributing them, getting to the schools is something that female students seem to like. You know, it's more, it was a goal for this repair that they're doing, not just, you know, being able to play games on it or whatever, you know, the result is for the end result for young men. So that was helpful too, getting that contact. And then all of the participants here are from our partner schools, so the teachers there play a huge role. But we know the interest as well. So we used to, on the computer bill, we had a time limit on that too. That was, so 2 years ago, we had a team completely disassemble and reassemble in less than 5 minutes. I mean, take everything out. Bare chassis, you know, motherboard. They did it. They were very good. They practiced. But it created some problems for us with the gear because when they were speeding and trying to do fast, they break things. So we were losing too much equipment, so we took that component out of the computer build part. I'd like to open it up to any questions that you might have. I've got, again, process paperwork here, how we run the STRUT organization in terms of getting the donations, making sure that's legal. There are conditions that have to be met. Companies that donate want to donate, not really for tax purposes, but they want to make sure it's going to a nonprofit organization. So getting the nonprofit status can be sometimes an issue. We have been using our foundation at the school, at the college, as our nonprofit. That's been going great, but now we have a new foundation director, and you know how new people come in and they start looking at processes, and we're looking, maybe we need another process for that going forward. But those are all things to work out. It's been a wonderful program for us. It's attracted a lot of students to our campus. Yes?
Employability opportunities for such instructional education.
You mean for the training that they get?
Are the companies out there that actually reconfigure or recycle computers? Or
Companies basically pay. Let me use Robert Half. They upgrade their computers every 2 years. Okay. At one time they were leasing all their computers because they had this recycling at the end of 2 years. And they decided that's not worth it anymore, so now they're back to buying it again and letting them go. Okay? What we found is, again, we've been able to place a lot of our partners, we had one company that phoned us and asked us if you had anybody available who could come down and work for us. And this is our goal. Like when Robert Half needs somebody, they contact me and say, Smith, you got somebody else you could send. This is our goal, so when they're looking for interns or they're looking for help, they'll come to the STRUT program and say, hey Smith, who do you got? Who can you send down? You know, and we send our best, and we've always had great results. Okay. Same with Symantec. You know, we have a guy there that's refurbishing the computers that does it all year long. You know, we're trying to look at land and some other industries to get interns in. Okay, we just had a recycle. One of our competition actually hired 2 of our students to refurbish the computers and switches, but they turn around and resell it. They actually buy some of this stuff, refurbish it, turn around and sell it. But they came to us and asked us for students that fit into their program. So, you know, our main goal is to get this established and have these companies come to us. You know, it makes you feel awful good when they say, hey, you got anybody else like Derek to come work for us or something like that. So again, that's our goal. We're staying in touch and inviting these people, you know, distributing our video to let them go and see, you know, actually where their donation is going and how it's helping the community itself.
And how do you handle the logistics of getting the donations? Is there a steady stream of donations? It seems like
it could be. We're sort of a low capacity shop, so we don't advertise that much. We have a few really good partners that have been with us: Symantec, Intel, now Robert Half. And we're right here in Silicon Valley, so we've got. And then there are people who find us on the website. We're out there, and they bring in their onesies and twosies, and we take those too, of course.
And even in the class, the students in the class, once they take an A+ class, and they go back to work and say, hey, the college takes your garbage computers, let's get rid of them. You know, until we make contacts that way to where we actually go. And as far as picking up, I go with my truck where we get a...
I've used the school vehicle to pick them up too, yeah.
But I had copy machines donated. We had a bunch of copy machines donated at one time that we just ended up recycling. You know, but there's a lot of, you know, that we will basically take anything to give away for recycling. As I told you, I have a bunch of servers and routers and stuff that Robert Half's going to get rid of. So we'll go through and we'll look at those and see if any school wants a server to play within their classroom or what the kids look like when they start. Because, you know, they're blade models, you know, and they have 3 power supplies in them. When you start them up, they sound like a jet engine. You know what I mean? The kids kind of get a kick out of that because all they want to do is turn it off and start it up, turn it off, start it. But again, they can hear that jet engine. So as we go through that, you know, we will do it.
Yeah.
I went to Chicago Public Schools, and as part of the CT and particularly the information technology classes, so we have Cisco as one of the strengths that we offer. The high school students who are competing, do they attain an A+ certification at some point, or
Yeah, they do. Not all of them. Very small number actually do, because this is a hard test and it's expensive. Right, but we, you know, we're also a CompTIA Academy, and we provide the vouchers. We're also a testing center, so they can come take the test with us. We had, I think, 8 high school kids in our summer program come and get certified A+. And we also do the CSENT certification with them as well. But that's really the ultimate goal. We want to give them, STRUT is the fun part of the curriculum, the hands-on that the Cisco Academy is missing, I think. I mean, it's more, you know, the competition's more for them to do. It's one aspect of the learning. And it's a year-long class that we teach at the high school.
And in our program, we have students who went for 3 years to the curriculum.
Yeah.
And there's a capstone for that.
Right.
It's great seeing that competition.
Yeah, that'd be great. We do an academy competition with networking too, but as well. I mean, competition is really good. I mean, and if you can get more, we got 100 kids, which is pretty good to have that many.
We also,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, first you got a question.
Oh.
Okay.
One quick one. Let me go. What we actually do is, besides using Cisco and IT, Cisco Academy, we also have we purchased and used some testing materials. We actually use Password, and we actually go over that the last couple of days in the classes, their labs, to go over the questions to deal with that. We have found that the Cisco or any curriculum you're actually using is a good starter, get you there, get you going, okay? But using a third-party test taker really enhances our students passing. And we're, what, 90%, or, yeah, 95% of the older students who have taken it have passed. So, you know, it helps. Everything helps, you know, but again, you know, by having a third party, it's very important to, you know, give them an option of where to look to find different questions.
Okay, so we're trying to organize under our foundation, like I said, as a non-profit, and so that required the students to have to write a business plan from the start. We also had a partner who was an e-waste recycler, and they actually took 2 of our students and sent them to Chico to compete against another e-waste recycler called Computers for Classrooms.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
And the interesting part about this is they are Microsoft authorized refurbisher.
Right.
So they can, and you can become one too.
Right.
And that means you get all the operating system software for free.
Right.
So it's a great project-based learning activity. They're running a business. And they can sell these computers, or they can donate them to schools. And it's every aspect of the business is there.
That's great. Yeah, I've heard about that. We're MSDN, so we get the software for our school. Yeah, we can't give away. That's why we put the Linux operating system.
But when you get into selling it, you're going to have a hard time finding vendors who are going to donate or give you stuff if you're going to turn around and make a profit.
Yeah, and Intel had a problem. If you look at their rules, that was an issue they had with Mission College, which they were selling a lot because they were getting a lot more donations than they could redistribute. Okay. So they hired an auctioneer to go off and sell and give them kickback, and STRUT didn't like. I mean, Intel didn't like that.
So no eBay, no.
Well, even if you want this deal, it depends who's donating the computers. I mean, if you've got a company that's donating them, and you're going out and telling them you're going to give them to schools or nonprofits, we give it to nonprofits also. You know, whoever comes in, and again, if you're saying you're going to give them away, then you turn around and start selling them. Then you're going to be upset. But if you let them know up front, we're taking this and we're going to resell it, then I guess it's acceptable. Our goal is more to acknowledge to the students, you know, and use the students to go and have something that, again, they could function, work on, and not worry about breaking.
Yeah. Karen?
It was, yeah, it was kind of takes it one step farther, but maybe it's something that you guys have done too. There was a school, Hansford West, in the Central Valley, and they basically had the same type of program where they would refurbish computers, and then the students from the school would go out into the community and teach families who couldn't afford a computer. They would donate the computer to the families, and the students would teach the families how to use the computers.
Yeah, there's a lot of
retirement centers.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. It was just a wonderful opportunity for students to have the opportunity to actually be teaching the computer part, and then the families got to use it too. And because of their environment, they're very, most of the students go by the their community is very Hispanic speaking because of all that,
So it looks like we're about out of time, but I have the handouts here. I'll leave them here on the table if you'd like to help yourself. Our contact information is on here as well, and then the website that has a lot of this already.